Hey there, CS320 students. So in this recording, we're going to go through using GitHub for your course project. So first thing you're going to do is go to github.com. If you created an account previously with your Southern New Hampshire email address, then you're just simply going to sign in. Otherwise, you're going to sign up, create a username, use the Southern New Hampshire email address, and then we're going to come back here and sign in using our credentials that we just created. So once we sign in, we want to find our repository. So if it doesn't default to that, then you're going to click on your username and then go to your repositories. And here's all the repositories that I have. If you want, you can go ahead and click the new button, create a new repository. I called mine CS320-project. Change the setting to private, and then click the create repository button. So again, you can see I've got mine right here, and it is hopefully ready to go. All right, next thing we're going to do to get set up on our own computer is we're going to download Git. So just type in download Git and download the version that you find for your machine. Just follow the default installer. And then once that is installed, you'll want to open up a command prompt. And from the command prompt or terminal, we want to type git-version or git-version or git-v. And we want to see that we have Git installed. If it's not installed, I'll see some kind of error, but I can see that I have Git installed. And again, it doesn't matter if your versions are a little bit different than mine. Okay, next thing I like to do is I like to use SourceTree to handle all of my Git operations. So it's available for Windows and Mac. If you're a Linux user, sorry, there's no SourceTree available for you, but you're probably already familiar with using GitHub and Git commands from your machine. Anyways, download it, install it, just run the regular installer. If it ever asks for a username or password, then you want to set up with your GitHub credentials. Once we have SourceTree set up here, I'm going to go to Tools, Options, and I want to make sure that my account is down there. So if I don't see my GitHub account that I want, then we need to click the Add button, select GitHub, you want HTTPS, and then refresh the OAuth token, and you'll see that it will open up a window, and you'll see Authenticated right there. So I'm authenticated, close, and all right, cancel. I think I'm actually, hopefully I'm okay. So I am authenticated. All right. You might want to set yours as default if it's the only one you use. Obviously, I've got multiple accounts that I'm running right there. Okay, so now in SourceTree, I'm going to use it to clone the repository and get me set up locally. So I'm going to click on the remote button. You might have to click refresh. What I want to find in there is that CS320 repository that we created on GitHub. So I'm going to click the clone button, and it's going to pop up a dialog. It's going to ask me to authenticate. I want to use this account. It might require my token. This will pop up multiple times on my machine. It's been doing this. And cross your fingers, hopefully that's the last time. And I'm going to specify that I want this to be saved in a particular directory. I already have a folder that I keep all of my Southern New Hampshire work in, and right there it is. And before I click, I want to make sure that this folder name matches the project name. That way I'm in that folder. Cross your fingers, I'm going to click clone. And again, it's going to ask me to authenticate multiple times. And if it does everything right, then I can see that I am inside SourceTree. I've got my project there. If I go to my CS320 directory, I see that project directory got created. And if I show all hidden items, I can see there's a .git directory, and in there is configuration values that link it to my online repository. Okay. Okay, so now that we have our repository created here, next thing we're going to do is open up Eclipse. and I want to go to File, New, Java Project. Oh, by the way, if you didn't have a workspace created before, then you would have needed to create a workspace. And again, my workspace is the Documents, SNHU, my SNHU CS 320 folder. All right, so now I'm going to create a new Java project, and I'm going to browse to that CS320 project directory that we just created. I want to make sure that the moduleinfo.java is not selected, and it will get the name of that directory right there. So great, I click Finish, and there we go. I've got a source directory. I could right-click and add my package. So I'm going to create edu.snhu.mparker. I'll call this one contacts. And so here's where I would add all of my code. So I've already done that work, so let me go ahead and just come in here, and I'm going to copy these two files there. And I'm going to paste them in there. I know I've got syntax errors. I'll fix that later. But what I want you to see is if I go back to source tree, I can see in my file status that it's got some changes here. That I want to go ahead and click Stage All. This is my initial commit, and I'm going to check the box to push these changes immediately, and I'm going to click the commit button. And again, it's going to ask me to authenticate multiple times probably, and I'm through. And if I go to the repository, right-click, reload, I can see that the class path was added, the project was added, and there are my files. So now I can make all of my changes, and every time I make a change, then I re-push my work. So I would always put a description of what I'm working on. You know, I implemented a test for this condition or whatnot, and then just like you saw, always then pushing it. Okay, that is it for this. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out and get some help. I will talk to you next time.